With us now, Jillian Michaels, host of the Keeping It Real podcast. Jillian, welcome back. Always a friend. You're always welcome. Any idea why after 10 years, Jillian Michaels is now suddenly evil?
Well, in all fairness, Jillian Michaels has been a polarizing figure for 20, the entirety of my career as a public figure. Why bring it back now? I am aware of the prevailing narrative that it's like, now that you're a Republican, we want to take you out. I choose to believe that's not the case. I choose to believe that it's just profitable. With that said, though, fortunately, I have emails going back to 2009 as well as text messages. So I am effectively able to refute some of the more nefarious and defamatory claims.
Why 12 years later is this even relevant?
I, honest to God, don't know. When I heard about the documentary, I thought nobody would care. I was like, no one's going to care about this. It's going to come, it's going to go, moving on. So I really don't have an answer as to why. I know that Netflix was extremely effective in their marketing strategy. Like, Jillian is such a ruthless bitch. If I could clarify on the caffeine pills, first of all, the contestants were allowed unlimited amounts of caffeine in the form of coffee and other beverages. I did not agree with this. I made that very clear to the show's doctor and the show's dietitian and the show's producers. And on many seasons of Biggest Loser, caffeine pills were actually allowed and distributed by the doctor's medical staff on campus. And I, of course, have the emails to prove that. In this particular season, he randomly decided that he was going to pull them during the show. I disagreed with it. I made it clear to the executive producer and the show's dietitian that I disagreed with it. I have the emails to prove that. And this was not wrong. This was wrong, and I take full responsibility for this part. I did it anyway. Didn't agree with him. I did not respect him for a host of other reasons. I sought help and advice from other medical professionals, and I was effective in many cases at getting the executive producers to bring the contestants to other medical professionals. And I said very clearly on the show in an email, I think this is far better than giving them unlimited amounts of coffee because we can control the dose of caffeine that they're getting. And in this particular instance, I actually asked the show's coordinating producer to purchase my brand of fat burner instead of the brand that Bob had requested, which was Stacker 2.
And Bob is the
I don't know why.
doctor
It's caffeine. It's legal. No, okay. Bob was the other trainer.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. And there was text messages from Bob. I understand why you're angry anytime anybody gets accused of something that they feel like they have not done. It galls anybody, especially decent and good people who feel that way about themselves. This brings up, I think, a larger point of a conversation in America. There was a time that this whole weight loss conversation was very different about whether people should be told that losing weight is good for them, whether they should be told that being fat is unhealthy, on and on and on. How has that now changed? How do we look back at The Biggest Loser now that anybody who wants to can be on Ozempic?
If I could just clarify this one thing before I answer that.
There were numerous
lies outside of that one on the show. And as a public figure, you sign up for the criticism, you sign up for being a target, but what you don't sign up for are the lies. And that's the part that's absolutely unacceptable. With that said, why now has the narrative shifted? If I was to answer you as honestly as possible, because it is a big food psyop. It just is, flat out. In other words, this narrative of healthy at any size and derailing the shame of eating crappy food and all of this comes from big food. And there was actually a fantastic expose in the Washington Post that exposed this, where they set out to entrench this narrative. They even went so far as to pay off registered dietitians to put these kind of posts online and flood social media with it, as well as legacy media and new media. And they were successful, period. And I think that's what's happened. It's a part of our woke culture, but it really is it's this big food psyop at the end of the day.
Well, we were glad to have you on this issue. When it rains, it pours. This is not the only controversy involving Jillian Michaels right now. According to one television network, she is a racist to the core. Jillian's staying with us right back to answer those claims next.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.